Europe has been, if you like, the political soundtrack to my life. For somebody who was born in the middle of the 1950s, a European, the whole process of European construction, the European Union and its predecessor organizations, it's just been part of my everyday reality.
Maybe if I choose one word, it's inspiration. And the second one could be cooperation.
Europe's influence on innovation and creativity go well beyond its borders, and it leaves an indelible imprint on the rest of the world.
I was born in 1957, the year of the Rome Treaty. And I have always seen this, not as a coincidence, but as an important element of my life. I feel profoundly European.
Europe means many different things to me. When I went to exile to Europe as well. So for me, in my personal life, Europe has had a lot of different moments, very important moments.
Europe means fairness, openness, and transparency.
Europe means a lot to me. My first international position was in Brussels.
Europe, for me, is a set of values and a platform of cooperation among member states, but also among citizens, to tackle issues that no one alone can handle.
The 9th of May is a Europe Day, an occasion to celebrate peace and unity in Europe. It marks the anniversary of the historic Schuman Declaration. At a speech in Paris, just 5 years after the end of the Second World War, Robert Schuman, then Foreign Minister of France, set out ideas for a new form of political cooperation in Europe, which would make war between European nations unthinkable again.
72 years later, Europe has come a long way, despite a sometimes bumpy road. It has established itself as an important policymaker in the world, fighting and advocating tirelessly for a better, more fair, and more solidary world.
European Union is a very, very close partner for us. We work together very closely on Sustainable Development Goals agenda, on human rights, on climate change, on security and disarmament, and of course, that's possible because we really share the same values and the same, I would say, addiction to multilateral system.
We're very fortunate that the European Union very explicitly embraces multilateralism. In a period when multilateralism, I think, is under considerable strain, Europe is a very, very staunch supporter of the principles and the practice of multilateral cooperation.
For me, Europe means being a partner in good. We work together to empower women and young people. We support small businesses. We make trade more inclusive and sustainable. We promote human rights and we accelerate the use of digital and green technologies for everyone. Europe has mobilized incredible resources to help businesses in developing countries.
Europe is a set of values, a platform for working together and to tackle the challenges that mankind has in front that cannot be handled by one single country alone, whether it is climate change, the impact of pandemic, or migration.
Europe is about interdependence, integration, and trade. These are the same things that the WTO and the multilateral trading system are about.
Solidarity is something we all need in these difficult times, plagued by an unprecedented pandemic that has cost millions of lives in Europe and around the globe. We will all overcome the current health crisis through multilateral cooperation. Indeed, multilateralism is the most effective method to address global challenges in a way that benefits all.
Geneva is the capital of global health, especially the role of EU in global health is very important. In 1988, I was doing my diploma course in epidemiology in Copenhagen. And for the first time, I had health insurance covered for 1 year. And I saw universal health coverage in action, and I was inspired by that. All roads should lead to universal health coverage.
Europe strongly believes in core values such as democracy, human rights, dignity, tolerance, which we believe should be at the heart of any international policy action. Geneva, with its over 30 international organizations, is one of the most important platforms for international cooperation in the world. Together with its international partners in Geneva, Europe is promoting global health, human rights, decent labor, and properly organized migrations.
We'll also look at Europe as a force for good in the world, in the work that we do, upholding, defending the right of refugees to seek asylum and not to be pushed back to their countries, and looking for solutions to their plight. So that peacemaking role of Europe in the world is a very important one that has here in Geneva one of its main theaters, main places for discussion and development.
The EU has been able to advocate for positive changes in the Geneva trade arena, especially for MSMEs and developing countries. The EU's support is vital to ensure that the gains from trade are more widely accessible. In Geneva, we're really happy to have the EU as an ally, and the European stance in defense of a renewed multilateralism, its inclusive and sustainable EU trade policy offer new partnership perspectives that can meet the challenges of today and tomorrow for our planet and for our people, especially our young people.
Europe is a group of strong countries that can really make a difference in terms of upholding human rights and upholding those values that were there when the European Union was created. The EU has been very important in the Human Rights Council, always supporting the value of human rights, being it a country situation or being it on migration or environmental things, children's rights.
The pandemic, but also other global challenges such as climate change, conflict, and extreme poverty in many parts of the world makes all too evident the need for multilateral cooperation grounded on basic principles of international law and universal values.
The European Union has a big responsibility to demonstrate that multilateralism can work and can deliver. Deliver according to the expectations of the citizens, especially the young ones that are going through a very tough period, not just because of the pandemic, but because of the growing inequalities and the terrible impacts of climate change. So I expect the European Union to take a leading role.
The EU is a force to be reckoned with in multilateral affairs, and its importance at the WTO is indisputable. But such weight also brings responsibility, and so we look to Europe to be a key pillar on which the multilateral trading system turns. And we look to Europe to ensure the WTO delivers results this year and in the future.
I have a message for young Europeans, as I used to be. Don't lose faith in Europe, because Europe has an enormous and bright future, and we're all responsible for it.
The European Union's motto is united in diversity. But my wish, actually, is that this motto applies to the whole world, not just the European Union.
This is what the EU stands for here in Geneva, and what the men and women of the EU delegation are tirelessly promoting every day. Happy Europe's Day, joyeuses fêtes de l'Europe.